guys, it's Carol. How you doing? I'm good. I'm waiting on my grandkids to get here. Usually on Saturdays, their dad brings them over like by 9 o'clock and they spend the entire day with me and then they spend the night. But this Saturday, their other grandma and grandpa, my ex-husband, wanted to have them. So they are coming about 4 o'clock to spend the night. So, you know what I did? I got up this morning. It was freezing cold. I turned the heater up, got back in bed, and I slept till 2 o'clock. My body needed the rest. Why, I don't know. I don't do anything, but I was sure sleeping good. But now I'm hours and hours behind, and here I am sitting talking to you. I had talked to my sister. Last night I was warming up a bowl of that chicken fajita soup, and she told me, she lives in another state, we just text, and I told her that's what I was having for dinner, and she told me I should have showed a picture of my soup, and I told her I didn't want to because all of those soups I make kind of look like throw up. And nobody would want to make one if they saw it. And so I sent her a picture of my bowl. And she said, oh, she thought it looked really good. So I'm going to stick a picture in here for you. I guess with 4 kids and 4 grandkids, I've just cleaned up too much throw up in my life. I don't know. Anyway, if I can figure out the Filmora go again, I'm going to stick a picture in here. And I am so excited. One of my subs, who very seldom leaves a comment, emailed me. I'm not going to mention her name, but honey, thank you. I was so excited to get that email. I'm excited to get any email I get from any of my subs. But this lady is an awful lot like me, and it just felt so good to connect with somebody that I think will get me, you know? So thank you, honey. I appreciate you emailing me. And anybody else who wants to email me, I'd love to read an email from you. Today, I want to tell you about my daughter's cats. I don't have a picture, but maybe I can get her to take one. She's not home right now. My daughter, Casey, the one that lives here at the same apartment complex, has been allergic to cats all her life. My daughter's grandma, my ex-husband's mother, always had cats. And Casey would go over there and hold those cats and come home and her eyes would be swollen and the whites get red as a tomato and have allergy type problems. So we've never had a cat. Well, now her stepmom has cats. Casey goes over there, eyes get red as my shirt, swollen, her nose is running. But Casey loves cats. She's the one that has Andy, the beagle that sometimes, a lot of times, stays at my apartment. Andy is a cat magnet. Andy is the sweetest dog. He thinks everybody wants to pet him. He thinks every animal is his friend, except for this one dog that lives here. He doesn't like him. But cats just love him. The apartments I live in, sometimes people dump their animals. And I live on the last street of our city, so it's in a rural area. There's a truck stop just down the way from me. And actually there's 2 highways intersect. And I think animals get dumped, or people that live here in the apartments just go off and leave them. I couldn't believe it. I would never just leave my dog somewhere. The first time it happened, you know, from my balcony I can see across to another building and I see all their balconies. I would see this huge orange cat on a balcony over there. Well, then those people moved out and I still saw their cat out in the grass. So I called the office and I said, I didn't know their name, but I said, you know those people in blah, blah, blah apartment? Their cat is still here. And I know they moved. I watched them. And she said, yes, people do that all the time. They just leave and move and leave their cats. Or sometimes their dogs. And I said, no way. And she said, actually, somebody will have moved out over the weekend, didn't tell us they were moving. Then when we find out, we'll go in and, it'll be several days later and there will be a cat locked in the empty apartment. I just can't imagine. But anyway, that big orange cat, his family just moved off and didn't take him. Unbelievable. Well, dogs, please don't bark. Please don't bark. Mama's doing a film. Don't bark. Anyway, there are several feral cats that live here that the mama cat, the original mama cat, somebody just walked off and left, and then she had kittens, and then her babies are feral, and they live here at the apartment complex. Different people feed them, set out water and food for them. And some of them don't want anybody to get close to them, but some of them do. And the ones that do want to be by humans also want to rub up against Andy the Beagle. They just love him. There was one cat that I fed. We called her Miss Kitty. And she was a mama of a group of cats. She loved Andy and she loved my dog Zoe. When I would walk Zoe, I used to walk Zoe 5 times a day. She would be in the shrubbery and she would come out and walk right along with us. It's the only cat my Zoe ever liked. And I just loved that cat. I fed her and petted her, and she would rub against my legs. All things want some loving. No. No barking. No barking. No barking. On Saturdays, people are coming and going in the apartment complex, and my dogs don't like the noise. Well, anyway, Miss Kitty died. I was so upset. I was just heartbroken, and I went to the office, and I had missed her for several days, and the maintenance man says, yes, ma'am, I found her in front of their office, and she was dead. I just was devastated. But she has kittens that live here, and one of them we feed every now and then. It doesn't like to get too close to us, and it doesn't like Toby and my dogs. Toby just does not like dogs. I think the other two probably would, but not Toby. Toby is a special needs dog. He is just something else. But anyway, moving on. There is a big black cat that's lived here and has taken up with Andy, walks with Andy every time my daughter takes him out. And one day Amos, we named him Amos, Andy and Amos. We named the black cat Amos because he had never been to my daughter's apartment, but obviously he knew where Andy lived. And one day, my daughter had her balcony door open to get some fresh air, and she's on the second floor. From the landing of the stairs going up to the third floor, cats can get there, jump onto our balconies, and they do that all the time. Well, and Amos, the black cat, jumped onto her balcony. The door was open. He just walked in and made himself at home, and found a place to sleep. And so, he's a sweet cat. He is. So, she started letting him come in when he wanted to. And he's an outdoor cat. He doesn't want to be in all the time unless it's cold or unless he's hungry. He comes and he'll scratch on her door and meow at their front door if her balcony door is shut until she lets him in. So, he's sort of become her cat. She got him in a crate thing and took him and had him neutered. And he's not really her cat because he lives outside. He just comes and takes a nap and has a meal with her whenever he feels like it. Well, I told her, Casey, he's just moved in, honey, because he was there every day. And fortunately, he's a short-haired cat, And her stepmother's cats are all long-haired, and he doesn't stir her allergies up like them. So she's been letting him come in whenever he wants to. Well, he brought home another cat one day. I told her, Casey, he went and told the other feral cats, hey, come to this apartment. They will feed you some good food. He brought another cat. And I told her, you cannot take another cat, because this was a long-haired cat. So she fed it one time, but she wouldn't let it in anymore. And it moved on to another apartment. But now, recently, like maybe a month ago, this little bitty gray cat started coming with Amos. And she's a delicate little, not much more than a kitten, just a little cat. And loves Andy, loves Casey, and she moved in too. Well, it's been about a month, and Casey every day would say, I'm not going to feed her anymore, I'm not going to let her in anymore, because I don't need two cats. I don't even have one cat, she says. He just comes to visit. But this little gray cat is just so sweet and dainty, and it got super cold here, and so she let come in because it was super cold outside. I mean, you know, really cold. The wind chill was 5 the other day. Well, she and I neither one thought about it, but that little cat is a girl. Last week she went into heat. Oh, we hadn't thought that far ahead. And so there's been a Siamese cat hanging around her apartment, mine, because my door's catty-cornered from hers. That's driving us all crazy because he is interested in the little girl cat. Well, Casey tried just keeping her in the apartment so she wouldn't be having kittens, but obviously she's having kittens. So Casey's going to let her have this one batch of kittens, take her to get fixed, and try to give all the kittens away and her, because she really shouldn't have this cat, because this one's a long-haired cat. But anyway, that's a story about how Casey pretty much has a black cat who just moved himself in, and then he brought a friend. Everybody in my family has a soft heart for dogs and cats. We would take them all in and feed every single one of them, but we just can't. We can't afford to feed all that many. I shouldn't even have 3 dogs, and my heart just wants a 4th. I had 4 kids. I have 4 grandkids. I want to have 4 dogs. But no, I'm not getting a 4th one. I don't think the apartment complex would let me. But anyway, one of my sons has always said if he won the lottery, he would have an animal ranch and just take every stray cat and dog and let them have a good life. But anyway, that's how my daughter, who should never have had a cat, now has 2 living in her apartment with her. I'll try to stick a picture in. Anyway, back to my soup. If I can figure it out, I'm going to stick a picture of my soup in there too, even if it may not be the most attractive thing you ever saw. All right, guys, I'm going to go get busy now. My grandkids should be here any minute, and I'm like a whole day behind on doing stuff. So I will talk to you tomorrow night probably. See ya. Bye-bye.